The juvenile anti-nuclear scaremongering using the Simpsons cartoons to frighten people into thinking a nuclear reactor in their community will produce three-eyed fish and koalas. Not from the Greens, mind you, but from senior Labor figures on massive salaries. They should know better. Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen, whose only full-time job outside politics was as a checkout chick at a Coles supermarket, thought it funny to portray three-eyed fish floating around in Gippsland. That was a way to enter the debate, she thought. Assistant Treasurer Minister Andrew Leigh jumped into the discussion, suggesting that Blinky Bill might end up three-eyed as well. No wonder the nation's finances are in such a shambles. I said on Credlin yesterday, whatever happened to the notion that you could actually have a sensible, grown-up, mature discussion about something as vital to our future and our children's future as where we get reliable baseload power to come from to keep industry turning and the lights on. Now, aside from reliable water, I don't know what could be more important. But no, mainland Australia is run by federal and state Labor politicians. Now, after Peter Dutton dared to suggest that alongside gas, hydro, solar and wind, it might be a good idea to have a look at the use of our vast reserves of uranium, which we currently export around the world, to feed nuclear power plants that in the future would number 7. Well, you would have thought Dutton was suggesting we start manufacturing nuclear weapons, not building nuclear power plants. And when you get a reaction like we got from the state premiers, senior federal ministers and leading business figures, you know you've hit a nerve. And I think he has hit a nerve, Peter Dutton. They are not really worried about the safety aspects of nuclear. They know lived experience overseas proves that these things are safe. No, what's got them all in a frenzy is the notion that someone might slow the rush to renewables and like wind turbines and solar farms that they're going to use to carpet regional and rural Australia. Because as you see, overseas investors and rich Australian corporates have seen renewable investment grants from the government and the rush to get these things built as one big massive cash cow. Always follow the money. The Prime Minister, of course, has staked his political future on Australia being the greenest of green countries and keeps trotting out a line about global renewables and being a superpower, whatever that really means. Of course, digging up rare earth minerals and filling up ships, and we send it all off to China. That's what we do. He bobbed up on the ABC this morning and he was asked about the gaggle of Labor figures scaring people with Homer Simpson nuclear catastrophe memes. His response, we should all lighten up.
Have you got the one with me, Michael, with 3 eyes on the Prime Minister that's been put up by the cheer squad for the coalition on this nuclear fantasy? You can put that up as well. Lighten up, Michael.
Well, that was on the ABC, of course, and no hard questions to the PM. Interestingly, he referenced the Voice and the No campaign, which I guess still sticks in his craw that 60% of his fellow Australians dared to vote no. And I suspect deep down he's thinking, well, what if this nuclear debate goes the way of the Voice referendum? Now, thankfully, as we get to day 3 of this nuclear discussion, some people who actually know what they're talking about stuck their heads up. The former ANSTO boss, a bloke by the name of Dr. Artie Patterson, labelled stunts like showering reactors on Bondi Beach and pictures of them all around famous places around Australia. He called that a scare campaign. He praised Australia for its nuclear medicine advances and the AUKUS nuclear submarine deal. Engineer Robert Parker, founder of Nuclear for a Climate Australia, said the position they are taking with deformed animals and some other graphic designs like bears bears no relation to the way civilian nuclear power systems work. And he added, no member of the public has been exposed to radiation from nuclear power plants. Now, this debate is now set to last for months, right up to the next election. And just keep an eye on Parliament in Canberra next week, where the three-eyed monster cliches will be flying thick and fast. Those wedded to the dismantling of Australia's current energy network with sun and wind, well, they've got too much to lose. And just a late update on the hysterical nonsense coming from federal Labor. Tom Connolly spoke to the Assistant Minister Patrick Gorman, who went to the WA town of Collie today, the proposed site of one of the reactors, and with a straight face he said this about tourism and nuclear energy.
I've been speaking to people, leaders in the tourism industry here. They've seen off pre-COVID levels, 73% increase in tourism because they've been doing the hard work of building up their tourism economies, and they're already concerned that if Collie is seen to be a nuclear town rather than a wonderful tourist town that it is, that's not going to give them the economic opportunities.
Seriously, it's going to destroy tourism in a beautiful part of WA. These people have absolutely lost their minds.